Susan with Kiwi Lane Designs, and one of the questions that we get asked often is, how do you guys choose what papers to use on your layouts? Now, picking what patterns and colors to use together can be a little bit hard, so in this video I just want to share with you some of the pointers that we've come up with to help us choose what papers to use together on our layouts. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is that we recommend 5 to 6 double-sided sheets of paper. This will allow you to add your borders and accessories and layers if you'd like, and even match your photos. Now, the first thing that we do is we pick our background. So we need 2 for our background, so 2 pieces of sheets for our background, 1 sheet for our borders and accessory, a supporting sheet for our borders and accessories, and then also another sheet for our photo mat, and that will give us our 5 sheets. Now, the place that the 6th sheet comes in is that, say you just have a piece that you love and you're just not sure between the two. We say 5 to 6 because if there's that 6th sheet that you're just not sure about, we always say it's easier to throw it in so that it's there and that you have it than to not. But for the most part, 5 sheets of paper will give you a nice, beautiful layout. So to start with, we're gonna just simply pick out our main sheet first. So we're going to start with our main sheet. And the rules that we just keep in mind when we're picking our main sheet is a pattern that catches our eye. So you want something that catches your eye to start with. Also something that has maybe all of the colors from the pattern or from the paper line in it. So you'll notice that this paper line consists of yellows, greens, grays, blues, pinks, a darker reddish pink type deal. So this pattern does. This one also does as well. And the reason we're starting with our main border is because we'll be able to go from here and pick out our background paper and layer that together and make sure that it works. So looking at these patterns here, we would just simply say, okay, what sheet do we like? See, those wouldn't be really considered a main pattern. Maybe the stripes, that definitely could work. Now, me personally, I definitely love flowers, so I'm just going to go ahead with this one first. Now, another thing you always want to keep in mind is just what's on the back. So right here, we're able to incorporate some yellow into our layout. So this is good to keep in mind, just because when you're picking your other sheets, you probably don't want too much yellow. So if another sheet is yellow on the back, that probably wouldn't be an option. Okay, so let's go ahead and start now with our background papers now that we have our main border. And we recommend something that is subtle, maybe more of like a blender. So like this is considered a blender because it's basically the same color, but a lighter tone and a darker tone with the pattern. This is a 2-tone pattern right here. This basically has your gray and your white, so 2 colors incorporated into this pattern. Either 2 tones or blenders work great for your background just because it's not too busy and it will allow those other patterns to pop off of your page. Okay, so we're just going to head and start layering it. And so I would just simply layer my main border on top, which that would work. That's really cute, gives it a nice fresh look. You could definitely go more pink, although that really screams pink. So again, just depending on what layout you're working with, if this is something that you like, then it would definitely work. Or there could even be a teal. Again, it definitely screams teal, but it's really pretty too. This is really cute, definitely has more of like a country feel, so that could be a lot of fun. So you can see there's a lot of options as far as what backgrounds to use. Now I'm using this paper line from my Mind's Eye, and it does help sometimes when you are picking papers to stay in the same paper line. They are designed and manufactured this way to already coordinate, so you don't have to worry about that. So that makes it really easy when you're trying to pick what papers to use. Now that doesn't mean that you can't go through your paper stash and just keep in mind these same tips that I'm showing you and create your own paper kits by going through and using your paper stash that you have at home. Okay, so as far as the background paper, I'm torn between either this lighter pattern or even the darker pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the lighter pattern and go to my next paper that I need to pick, which is a supporting pattern to this one. Okay, so at this point I would just grab some of those other patterns that I liked and throw that in and just kind of layer those together to see if maybe it's too busy or if I like it. And then of course keeping in mind which is on the back, which I don't have any teal, so I could definitely use that teal in my layout. Maybe they compete a little bit too much for me personally. So you could do the same thing with, say, another pattern, which is really cute. Now the back is this piece, which we wouldn't be able to incorporate if we were using this as our background paper. So again, just keeping in mind what's on the back of your papers. And then of course this was another piece that I pulled out. Now that does complement this very well. I do feel like it highlights that other one. If I say wanted to do a strip or maybe another border with the flower borders would be nice. And then there's teal on the back, which we definitely can use a little teal to brighten things up. Now the only thing that I'm concerned about now looking at those three patterns is that I have a stripe background, a stripe for my borders, and a flowers, and that could be a little too much stripes. So you just want to keep in what patterns that you're using as well. So maybe I'll go more with this look because that's the other one I liked. So that right here would create what we need for our background papers. So we have two for our background papers, and I picked the same pattern. I do the same pattern for my left and my right side of my layout, so they would be the same. And then we would have our main borders and our main accessory, our main sheet of paper, and then the supporting sheet for those. And then at this point, you just need either another pattern that you like, or maybe a border or a cardstock that looks good off of your paper. Basically something for your photo mats. This can be a solid or it can be just another pattern to throw in. Again, keeping in mind what's on the back, so we have yellow and teal. So the one color we're missing here is maybe a pink of some kind. So we could maybe just throw in this sheet of paper to have, or even this sheet as well, which I like the darker pink. I think it really helps with kind of the dark feel that I'm going with here, and it does help pop off of those as well. So this right here will give us what we need to create a 2-page layout. Also, we usually get 1 to 2 cards out of our scraps. So just the 5 sheets of paper will go a long ways. And when you actually sit down to scrapbook, what I recommend is just taking maybe a page protector, something like this. And then I just simply stick all of my papers inside the page protector. And then you could stick whatever embellishments maybe that you have that coordinate with it, or your photos you could stick in there. And it makes it really easy when you sit down to scrapbook because you already have your paper kit together, it's already thought out. And or vice versa, if you have somewhere to go, you could just pick this up and take it with you with your designer templates. So really simple to do. Hopefully some of these tips have helped you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at customerservice@kiwilane.com. We are here to help you, and thank you so much for watching.